gotta leave it to the professionals.
Blessed by Bundy, blah, blah, blah.
Started off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, yo, set it up.
Surfing on the web and I'm shooting at 3. I've been goated when I got my G. I'm an alien boy from a different planet, yeah. So I got my drink, I'm riding in the 1920s Model T Ford. Call her Era Lord. Call me Levi, playing on the keys, boy. And I'm about to put my gloves on. If I said it, then I meant that. Yeah, I like that one, I'm about to get that. Crash that whip for the drumsticks, whiplash. I'm about to get them all. Are you with that? In a white boat, surrounded by blue. I want one, but I got a cop too. I wanna fly high in the sky, arms out wide, trying to soar from a bird's eye view. I'm on fire, Ricky, Bobby, cracking the pavement, Whitney, Bobby. I'm a Saki bomb, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Bruce Wayne been a dog, and I keep it 101, cause I'm feeling kinda spotty. You sipping on some rock and I'm sipping on octane. The only thing around my neck
Started
is the
off with a
blockchain.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, yo, set it up.
NFT, Twitter, blockchain. Seeing with the ghosts and we ballin' like the Brown James. Crypto. We can make a trade, get the memo. Refuse not falling for the FOMO. Listening to Coffee with Captain. You know we worldwide, they loco. I ain't never gonna stop rapping. Orlando, yeah, we working magic. We rocking Ethereum entities. I just went and caught me a half base. Man, I got a shout out
Started
to
off with a
Body.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, yo, set it up.
Freaking the mood to choose one, but they got knowledge to move, son. I'm shocking in shades with my brother in suits. Yeah, them blues is coming. Even though it's hard to pick, eeny, miny, mo, soda on the mix, no biting lips, it's time to go. Index number 1, no thumbs up, you gotta scroll. Looking at the ghost in studio, it's time to go. Had a helmet on by myself until I met a mask that wanted to have a face off. So had to bring my chainsaw, full tank of gas in the drive with my brakes off. I'm A1, but a different kind of steak sauce.
GM, welcome to Coffee with Captain. I'm Cap. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Hope you had a great Monday. Wake up feeling pretty good. Things are continue to cook, and I'm not gonna say we're all the way back, but I think bottom's in. I think we're on the upward trajectory from here, and it's not just me saying this time. I'm not just the only. It's more than just the perma bulls are saying that we are in for exciting times. We had Wrecked Markets launch yesterday, and I fully intended to get in. If you missed it, the quick TLDR, it's basically like an $800 annual subscription to not, I think the best way to describe it, not alpha takes, but like research, like basically like OSF, and then he's going to add others, Mando and others, to kind of get into their here's the conversations they're having with their terminal in terms of, hey, let's research this, let's open this position. So it's fully transparent, not just on chain positions, but also stocks, and just a holistic look at how OSF is approaching the market. And what I like about it is they're going into a daily show. It's also a sign that we're back. We went from like everyone bailed on us in the morning. Shout out to the Modern Market guys. As far as I know, they're still doing their show. I've missed it for the last couple of weeks. So, but there was like no other shows from 8 o'clock on until like the midday shows or late morning shows started picking up, to where now there's multiples in the morning hours. And from Thread Guy to Easy and OSF is going to do a daily show now, talking straight market, and that this Wrecked Markets is basically a glimpse into the trades and stuff they're moving. What I like is they once again incorporated some utility into the Wrecked coin, and you basically got, it was $800 subscription, but you got the equivalent of almost $800, actually a little more than $800 in Rect. It's just vested over, I think, 12 months. And as someone who's long Rect, fully planning on getting in, and it would just, worst case scenario, if I got no value out of the trading desk, trading desk, not right way to put it. But anyways, if I had got no value out of it, I'm taking a bet on Rect, which I still think is a buy low opportunity right now. And so it's kind of like free rolling the project. And it quickly sold out. I don't know exactly how long, but I thought I'd have time. I didn't think the 250 memberships or founding memberships would sell out that quickly. They did. Sold out super quick. And, they raised 200 grand yesterday. Would they have done that without the Rect coin? Maybe. We'll never know. But I think once again goes to show the power of a brand coin and how it can help you jumpstart a business. Brand coin, NFTs, etc. Like you can use these mechanisms. It's not just a brand coin, but we talked about their marketing budget and how that helped them put Rec Drinks on the map and land some marketing relationships and campaigns that they probably wouldn't have been, like they wouldn't have had a marketing budget as a bootstrap startup without Rec Coin. It enabled them to pull off some of these big partnerships because it basically created a 8-figure marketing budget. And similar here, while it's just 200 grand, it's a way for them to jumpstart, their first 250 members. And so love to see that. Congratulations to Ovi and team. And memes ripping again. I've got 2 different titles here. We'll see which way we go. We're live on X Audio, X Video, YouTube, and Abstract. If you're on Abstract or YouTube, you'll see the title Memes Ripping and NFTs Cooking. What's next? We do have at least one call for an allow list you're going to want to get on today. It's free to get on the allow list. I don't know the other details, but it doesn't really matter because they're leaning into the kids of the 80s, the nostalgia, the OG Super Nintendo, the Game Boy vibes. They always win. They're undefeated. And so you're going to want to go. Did I pin it up top? Yes. Satari Must Die. So it's pinned up top if you're on the X audio space. If you're on YouTube or Abstract, smash that like button. GM Katie, GM to all the GMers that are helping us get things warmed up this morning. As always, Mike Campbell, Blockmage, Osiris, 456 AD, Thomas, Web3 Warhead, Machiavelli. Appreciate you all. It means a lot. GM Dobbins, GM Maria. Joey's out there. He just dropped a new blog on Panini America and Panini Blockchain. I have a thought on Panini too. Remind me to come back to that, specifically regarding supply chain. GM Aspiring Nobody, Hizzy, JT Bose. By the way, we need JP Vamos to show themselves. JP Vamos won the Coffee with Captain Bracket Challenge, but I don't, unless Twitter searches that, but I don't have a JP Vamos in my followers. I can't find them on X. So yeah, if you're JP Vamos, show yourselves. Don't steal JP Vamos's prize. We will confirm that it is actually the JP Vamos. But if you're JP Vamos, tag us, drop your comments in the chat. Just let us know you're here. I want to make sure we get you your Coffee with Captain Community Member of the Month for winning the World Cup Bracket Challenge. You're going to get a premium BZ Claw pull this coming Friday. And since we missed last Friday, we've got not one but 2 silver claw pulls this week. Looking forward to it. Should be a fun one. Yes, GM to all the GMers. Appreciate all the help and love getting things warmed up. The post I was looking for, I will find it, I promise. It's pinned up top, so it shouldn't be that hard. It is this. And you know what? We may take a little journey here, and I actually have a phrase on my wall. Let me show this first. So this is Phrase's newest project. It's hidden back there. I do have a phrase on the back wall, but you can't see it. It's behind the on air in the hat. The owl's hat is now blocking it. But I've been a Phrase fan for a while, been around, an OG, and continues to do new things, continues to experiment. And this one, so today is the last chance to get on the allow list. The allow list closes in 24 hours, and this was posted last night at 5 p.m. So you have basically till 5:13 p.m. today, give or take. I wouldn't wait till the last minute to get on the allow list. Published the first of a 4-part series, taking a deep dive on how it was made. So before I talk about how it was made, I just want, and we won't go through the whole thing. I encourage y'all to check it out. Don't do it right now. Do it after the show. But you can get a glimpse or an idea of what I'm talking about when you hear, I mean, even the press start, that's like, tell me you played the OG Nintendo without telling me you played the OG Nintendo. I mean, this is about as, I don't even know, like this is like OG Nintendo. And definitely. When I first heard the music, I thought Game Boy. And then I started thinking like, it's kind of like maybe Double Dragon. I never got into Zelda that much, but banger soundtrack. I didn't even check out the other Satari. And I don't know if it's like, is Satari a play on Atari or completely unrelated? I may get phrased on here not to talk about the actual project, just to talk about his music choices. So I'm not going to spoil the fun for you. You can go click the allow list, play a little quick game. You can read through the lore. Yeah, just fun site. I gotta stop. The music doesn't take over, but I hope you all can hear me as I tried to talk over the nostalgia. Yeah, nostalgic definitely hits hard. If you were born around my time, if you were born in the 80s, maybe even early 90s, I don't know how you can listen to that and not have the nostalgic heartstrings tugged a little bit. But yeah, it was fun. Go get on the allow list. I have no idea what the mint's going to cost, but high effort project, not just on the site itself. And we'll see. We'll probably get Phrase on here to give him some love. I don't know. All I know is the allow list closed today. I don't know when it's going to mint. But you can see here, there's going to be a 4-part series. So I'm guessing we have a little bit of time until mint, because I would imagine you're going to release the rest of this series. This post is about art. The next one's mechanics, then lore, story, and world building, and then part 4 is collaboration. So Phrase has been putting out art online since 2011, on chain since 21. Satari Must Die is the most ambitious release to date. This is part 1 of a series that'll take a deep dive into explore all that went into creating Satari Must Die. Art first, we begin with Satari Must Die is an art collection. There's a deep and intricate story told across multiple mediums. Yes, there's unique mechanics used to incentivize participation. Some of you will explore all of it. And if you do, I hope you love it. But as I worked on the art, the non-negotiable term I set for myself was this: participation is entirely optional. I worked to make sure the art was good enough that even someone who never wanted to participate would still love their piece. Interesting. I'm glad he's doing a participatory approach here. I'm not sure how I feel about optional. As someone who this probably benefits me, because I end up getting like started on this stuff and then fall off and I fall behind. And so I'm interpreting that it's not like a death and taxes where you're gonna have to participate every day or you're dead. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what he comes up with. But he goes on to say, and unlike the news, I have 2 kids. At the end of each weekend, my youngest would get the Sunday scaries and have a hard time going to school on Monday. One Sunday night, I drew some monsters on index cards and slipped them into their lunchbox. It was a hit. Here are a few of their favorites. As weeks turned into months, one recurring form kept showing up. And with a few general projects already in my belt, a conversation with Stephen Miller from the Patronage sparked an idea. Instead of more abstract work, he suggested I try something more figurative. On a Sunday night, while hammering out a fresh round of monsters, it clicked. The first outputs, sometime in October, were rough, but I knew they had promise. The core of this collection started in P5.js. Later, I created a micro shim of P5 and wrapped it directly into the sketch so it can be entirely self-contained with 0 external dependencies, but it's fair to call this a P5.js-based collection. While the masks were procedurally driven, I created each archetype, the silhouette of each character, by hand. These forms are intentionally imperfect, slightly different angles, and imperfectly mirrored vector points made each figure feel more natural. And I knew once the symbol shader was applied, it would amplify those imperfections in visually interesting ways. By November, hundreds of tweaks and a pile of new ideas later, it started to feel like a thing. One of those gave me some Xcopy vibes. A big win early was getting orbiting elements to circle the silhouette properly. These early outputs were met with reasonable praise but felt incomplete. It just didn't feel finished. What was wrong? Even though the mask was animated, the outputs felt static, flat, boring. And then another look at one of my favorite pieces came out of Proof Collective. Iteration by Grilslian showed me the two things I was missing. How do you pronounce this? ASIC or ASC2II? I've read the word. It's one of those I don't know if I've ever said out loud. Anyways, with my ASIC, we'll call it, based shader, only a portion of each cell was being colored in, leaving a portion of the design black. I needed to apply color rolls to each cell in the background. It's an easy fix. More importantly, the piece needed to feel alive. It needed more motion. It needed to breathing. I separated the silhouette and the mask into individual components that subtly move up and down, the form, head, and shoulders leading, and the mask trailing a frame or two behind. Pretty sweet. Easter egg for a keen eye. A few of the Sartari silhouettes actually have three components where the head and shoulders move independently from one another. Those will be grails. As I first animated, I'm not going to read all this. I'll let you continue to do all the work. But my point of sharing this is, I think he mentioned started in October. It launches July 23rd. So there we go. It's in collaboration with Transient Labs. And it is a high effort work. That's what I wanted to point out, is just a lot has went into this, not some low effort slop, not some copy pasta. Did he say, is it mounting on ETH? Did he say that? It is with Transient Labs. Most of the stuff they do is on ETH, but I'm not sure. Atari God says, I'm all in on this. Nintendo was life. Atari, do you think Satari is paying homage to Atari? I didn't get Atari vibes on the background music. I got Nintendo and Game Boy vibes. I'm open to being wrong there. If you feel it's more Atari vibes, I would be I'd be open to being convinced that my while it's full on nostalgia for me, I can admit that my memory gets a little fuzzy nowadays. So very well could have been some Atari mixed in there. But yeah, I got all full on Nintendo vibes. High effort, and we'll be following along. Got on the glad list. I'll reach out to FaZe and see if what are the mint details. It sounds like it's minting soon, but if there is any perks we can get for the community, we don't have 7 collab managers like Funkari does. We're a two-person operation at this point with Payne and myself. But if anyone has any goodies, the other one I need to follow up with is Betty, because she said we'd get on Godpool, but that's things closing soon. So she's on my list to follow up with today, and get you all in on that one as well. Maida says they need a game with an Easter egg in it for you to have to find to get a whitelist. And there was a look of Atari, says Thomas. So a little bit of Atari vibes. I'm here for it. I like FaZe, and I appreciate the effort going into on-chain art, gamification, tapping into nostalgia, a lot of good mechanics. And while there isn't a loud list, and I like FaZe, I think he's done some cool work. I'm gonna go grab this here at my first break. I'll show you the seed phrase that I have of phrases, but actually, maybe that's got to be a NFT too. Now that I say that, did anyone get Just Tunes yesterday? I missed out on it. Shame on me for being mobile. For all those asking, first dental procedure went well. We almost didn't make it. We thought we were going to have to go to the next doctor to get her put under, because she's just super anxiety when it comes to dental work. But just as he put his gloves, started put the needle away that was giving her the local anesthetic shot, and started talking about other options and some doctors, she's like, you can try it, you can do it. And we got it done. So GG's, and it was super smooth. Doctor was great. Procedure itself was super fast. And so yeah, once we got past and I think now she'll be okay on the next couple visits, and she was basically able to, realizes that he's good. And why did I just get a subducts? Does anyone know this? My OpenSea is sorted by most recently received, and top of my list, it's some Foxy Cup. So cool. Looking forward to jumping into those. I will reach out to Foxy Fits and see what this is part of their ape chain activation, but I'm not sure what it is. Oh, subducts migrated contracts. Thanks, Riggs. Appreciate it. So subducts migrated contracts. I'm assuming they went to a royalty protected one. Good. Like to see it. I don't think I've shared yet my stockbrokers. Here are my 2 stockbrokers. I have no idea if they're rares. I gotta make sure I don't even care. Like, I care about the NFT, but I don't. This is, to me, it's all on, the utility and earning those. Thanks, appreciate it. Yeah, I will. So yeah, the ducks have migrated. If you held a subduck, your new one is already in your wallet. No claim, no gas, no need to connect. Wacky Ducks drop in a couple days. Same direct mint. So subducks went from selling to nope, just kidding. We're going to stick around. We're going to migrate to a royalty protected contract, I'm assuming, and drop a new collection. Okay. This is one of my stockbrokers. Kind of like, I guess, kind of basic. I don't see anything that's, no super rare traits. The tie is very common. The smile is kind of rare, 14%, I guess. The banded frameless frames. The brown hair is the highest floor trait. Or no, I'm sorry, lemon skin. 8% of those. Pretty like basic. I guess it's aesthetically clean. It's a clean stockbroker. It's clean. Clean. So it's an insider. I also don't know if does that matter from insider to the next one is a whale. I would think a whale is, whale's floor is 1.99. So I'm wondering, does the broker badge mean anything? Do we know that yet? It's also bald. So I got a bald whale. That looks rare. Human skin. I didn't even realize there was other non-human skins. Both of mine are, oh no, never mind. The skin is, yeah. One skin is human, one skin is lemon. But yeah, this guy here, this is a grail. I'm calling it gold tie. We got a gold tie on a bald whale. Send it. A gold bow tie, no less. A gold bow tie on a bald whale in a steel suit. What a cook. A kid. But stockbrokers continue to hold up, getting more love and attention. What are you asking Brickadall to show? What are you asking me to show? Dort says Satari feels like a mashup of Satoshi and Atari. There you go. Crypto rails with OG retro gaming buys. Also, ASCII is what we found in Jimmy's butthole for heavy metal. News that we missed. Not only is the clubhouse coming in 2027, but Yuga just reacquired Legends of the Mara. So for anyone that grinded the Legend of the Mara game or have any Mara, those were sold off to Faraway. I never know which one that is. That is not a bit. It's just being me. Faraway acquired the Legends of the Mara IP. Yuga has recently reacquired that IP. No idea what's coming from it, but yeah, there it is. This is Seed Phrase, the physical I have behind me. It is art, and if you look really closely, the art is created by all the different possible words for a seed phrase. So each in their different different orientations, I guess you would say. But yeah, the art, the design, the lines are not lines, rather they're words, and they're all the words that make up the entirety of the different options for the seed phrase words. So again, just cool. I like how seed phrase moves. I like the art, the thought that goes into his art, and excited to support this one. Oh, so the badge is badge is rare. That not everyone has a whale badge, I guess. Fun. We don't know if the traits matter yet. I'm going to say they do. Who wants to buy my grail bald whale with a golden bow tie? Man, we're all the way back when we're talking traits matter. Season 2 is loading. NFT season 2 is loading. Clean, it's aesthetic, and freaking gold bow ties. Come on. Sup ducks. Sup ducks have migrated. If you held a sup duck, your new one is already in your wallet. No claim, no gas, nothing to connect. Snapshot, official collection. Wacky ducks drop in a couple days. This means that anyone on that timestamp that had a wacky duck, you get another duck. Anyone on that timestamp that had a wacky duck, you get another duck. Okay. No one knows what it means, but it is provocative. Floor on those subducts is 0.03. I'm not getting my hopes up, but was one of those that did. I was early to on-chain experimentation. Like they launched Volt, and you could use Volt to upgrade your toads. Like really, like it wasn't like I actually, speaking of 80s vibes, I vibed with the art. I liked the subducts, and really did experiment on chain. Was early to that stuff. Ultimately, never found a sustainable product market fix, and ended up like the experiments didn't stick, I guess, or weren't. I don't know how to put it, but definitely took shots, definitely did things differently, and would love to see, you know, revival there, not just for my bags, but I think it's good for, like we talked about yesterday, like show me, nothing against just art, but I enjoy the experimentation. I enjoy doing new things. Like what can we break on chain? What, you know, I prefer it more so than just passive art I'm collecting and hope it appreciates over decades. Speaking of grails, I mean, this is about as grail as it gets when you talk about subducts. Look at that jacket, Riggs. Riggs used to own one of these. It was almost identical to this 80s jacket here. I can't remember what it was called. What is the trait called? Oops, I accidentally stopped sharing. It is it's actually called an 80s breaker is the jacket. So the 80s windbreaker is a grail indeed. 2% of them in the collection. Yep, I vividly remember seeing Frankie Nines in that group at that subducts setup at VCon 1 or 2. I don't remember. Maybe both of them. I think it was both of them. But that image, hizzy, was it? I can't remember if that was at VCon 1 or 2. I did see Simple Farmer gave us silver and oil, and that gold may be next. Brick it all. Love to see it. I'm in, and I have FOMO that I'm like missing. There's something else I should be doing. If I could go back in time, I would have bought enough Stonkbroker token to get both of mine to the top tier, but I didn't do it, and now I shouldn't be hesitating, but I'm hesitating. I am like, I still have some bear market PTSD. I know I'm not the only one, but as I've shared on the show, there's been a couple things like had a lot of conviction in them doing well. At least in the short term, I was like, well, I said with Panini NFTs, 1 in 100 times these $25 packs sell below mint price. Didn't expect them to be a full 10x, but I was very confident it was very low risk, potentially high reward, and you could have flipped the packs for 10x. You could have pulled a 6-figure Grail card. Felt similar about Stonkbrokers. It was low cost. I've been gun shy on, hey, you all need to go do this thing. So I'm tempted to pull myself out of the bear market PTSD. At least I can say that acronym correctly today. in the proper order. I'm telling y'all now, go sign up for the Satari allow list. It's pinned up top. It's free to go through the process. Costs you nothing. The mint may cost something, but you may as well go get on the allow list. Because what you don't want to do is you're here today, you tuned in, you're just lazy. I'm not saying you're lazy, but you're being lazy this morning by not going and clicking a few buttons and getting entered on the allow list. You basically click a few buttons, you play a small quick game, and then you got to add your ENS address. What you don't want to do is not take action today when I'm telling you to take action, and then fast forward a day and the allow list is, people were tripping over themselves because they went on this allow list. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but this is one of those no cost, very low effort. I'm getting the spinning wheel on trying to add people to the stage. So Jesus, Trathio, maybe take a quick lap. Let me check, see if I don't think there was an X update, but it's giving me some challenges this morning. So let me see if I didn't do the update, that there was one. Shoot. Yeah, there is an X update. So it could be my bad. We can try to power through it. Maybe take a lap and see if leave the room, force close the app, come back. And if you haven't updated X yet, don't update it because I'm still on yesterday's version of X. My bad. I usually check that before the show, and no excuses. It's on my internal to-do list before the show, and I was putting finishing touches which aren't finished on the new show that's kicking off. I got hung up by attempting to create a new YouTube channel. Like, I've done this before because one of my accounts, I have 2 channels under it, but I can't figure out how to. Ooh, the recent update gave Dobbins X money. Where is that at? So it's below profile, then premium. I still don't have it on mine. That's frustrating. And I updated it on the bat phone. So yeah, apparently it's still being rolled out slowly. Cheeses, I'm not sure if you caught that, but I can't. It was giving me trouble adding you to the stage. I'd love to have you join the combo, though. If you want to take a quick lap and try again, we'll see if we can get that working. But yeah, now maybe I got to download Grok, the new Grok app. Is that? I don't know. Tech challenges continue, but we are we're just gonna power through it. We're live here on X Audio, X Video, X the Everything app, soon to be the Money app. We are also live on Abstract and YouTube. Wherever you're at, smash all the buttons. You know the deal. I think I also pinned up top the reminder links, yes, for the rest of the week. While I'm stumbling on the tech stuff here this morning, if you do me a favor. That's what I thought, Phonic. So wait, it can be under the same Google account, but a different email. Like, all my emails are Google accounts. I think this is where I'm getting hung up, because I go to add an account, and it's prompting a new email address, and that's what I was trying to avoid, is having to create another email just for another YouTube account. It's not that deep. I can if I have to. I think I'm missing something. I think there's a way to just add a new channel under the same account. Jesus, welcome. I think we got it solved. Is this an ignorant question as far as how do I add a second channel to an existing YouTube?
I've never done that. I actually have your YouTube pulled up here.
Makes me feel better.
But yeah, I've never tried to do it. I only have my one Reality Check Web3 channel. That's it. What are you doing with a second channel?
I'm going to do a sports show.
Oh, nice.
And just
nice, like football and baseball and just everything sports.
Football.
Oh, nice.
And
is it going to be heavily focused on college, or is it going to be a mix of college and NFL?
Well, it's this is breaking news. Let me go grab a rough draft of a logo, and I will share that. I will share that in the chat here. But yeah, it is first show is going to go live. It's normally going to be at 10 o'clock Eastern time on Tuesdays and Fridays. We're going to do twice a week. And today's show, though, just due to like soft launching today, definitely not fully buttoned up. As I was mentioning, still trying to figure out the YouTube channel, but we will be going live today on my X account. So if you want to tune in today for show 1, we're going live at 11 a.m. Eastern today. As my co-host from across the pond had we said we go live today with the first show, which we are. He had a commitment pop up at 10. So today's show, we're going to go live at 11 a.m. And then going forward, every Tuesday and every Friday, it will be we'll be live at 10 a.m. Eastern time, 3 p.m. Thanks, Zane. Zane just shared the how-tos, the step-by-steps on how to create a second YouTube channel. Tune in today for soft launch at 11 a.m. Eastern. We go live from my X. More stuff coming soon, but again, very soft launch today. It's not letting me post it.
Yeah, you can create 100, up to like 100 different channels on your YouTube. All you have to do is go in, click on your profile, and then go to settings, and then go to add or manage channels, and you can create as many channels as you want on your YouTube.
So
I see that right here.
Yeah, appreciate that. Here is, thanks for asking.
Got another channel, Captain.
I do.
I didn't realize that.
Jesus, you sound like you're on the other side of the world. Like we can barely hear you in the audience.
Okay, let me figure this out.
We gotta get Jesus hooked up with a new roadcaster. You win that big squad campaign. Oh, we just lost him. He wins that squad campaign on Zeet. That'll fund the new roadcaster. So here is Jesus asks, is it going to be focused on college football or NFL football? Yes and no. Probably no college football. No plans for college football at this time. But the show, world premiere announcement here, announcement of the announcement. Actually, not. This is the announcement. Show starts at 11 a.m. today. Going forward, it'll be 10 a.m. on Fridays and Tuesdays and Fridays. It's called football, both kinds. We'll be talking half the show. We'll be talking NFL football. The other half of the show, we'll be talking soccer as we know it here in the States. And super stoked. Going to be joining me is Benjamin White. Been a lifelong soccer fan. Myself, a lifelong football fan. I've got my 10,000 hours plus in the NFL analyst streets. He's got his 10,000 hours in on the soccer streets. Actually went mega viral a couple times throughout the World Cup with his breakdowns and clips there. And so really excited about the show. I think I'm probably not the only one who fell in love with soccer at a professional level during the World Cup. And so as I journey into my soccer fandom, I've been chatting with several of you and appreciate all the help and advice on, exploring my fandom and learning more about things. But even, not just player takes, but even simple things like the transfer market's very different than the free agency market here in the States. And trades are different. Like it's just very different sports from both the game and the business level. But there'll be no dumb questions, right? Because as a noob myself, no dumb questions, but yet also being able to be kind of shepherded along by someone who is an expert. And then when we flip and talk NFL, Ben, who's getting into his NFL football fandom, the roles reverse, and he can ask no dumb questions, and hopefully I can shepherd with some good takes, both from the analytics, player takes, as well as news. So the Tuesday and Friday it works well for both sports. Premier League and other professional leagues, often their main slate is Saturdays, and NFL main slate is Sundays. So Friday show will be kind of previewing, looking ahead, some takes maybe on games, on players, who to draft, who to roster the week ahead. And then Tuesdays will be recapping the week prior. And again, works out well for both sports with the weekend activity. So yeah, really excited, looking forward to it. More to come on this. Yeah, everything is rough right now, from branding, logos, etc. Hopefully I don't break anything on StreamYard or YouTube in the process, but excited about it, and more coming soon. I did pin up top Joey's post from breaking down Panini blockchain. Go give that some love. Joey, we did lose you, but you're welcome to jump back up here if you'd like. And yeah, pretty excited where I going back to the Joey knowing how you can have so many YouTube channels because he has 47 kids, each with their own channel. That makes sense. Joey's an expert here with multiple YouTubes. Yeah, Phonic says signed up for the phrase. Been letting the music play for the last 20 minutes. I did the same. Like my prep for the show, I did the allow list, and then instead of closing the tab, I just let it go. Maybe that's what we need to copy in some of our background, our intro music for the it's called football, can be some 80s Nintendo Atari vibes. Joey, go ahead, GM. Joey going, what?
Yeah, I got kicked off stage because I couldn't hear you when you were talking. So
it's not just you. Atari said space. Yeah, no, it's not just you. Atari said space has been rugging hard. He had to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you? I don't know if you heard when I said how to create a second channel.
Yep. Thank you.
Okay, cool.
Appreciate it.
Are you gonna? Is the show going to evolve based on what's in season, or are you gonna, because there is an off season for soccer/football?
Yep.
And then there's obviously an off season for American football. So is it going to evolve, and will the co-host change based on basketball, baseball, like all the other sports, or what's the plan?
This one we're just going to stick on the two footballs. I may do another NFL show, specifically talking best ball, debating on that. The downside with best ball is that there's just not much activity during the actual season, which is probably sounds silly to most of you, but most of your best.
You could do daily fantasy.
Yeah.
In season.
Yeah. There's a lot of part of the best ball focus is it's a niche that's not nearly as competitive, whereas DFS is pretty crowded at this point. This approach, it's called football. Maybe someone's done a similar show, but I think it's unique in the sense that talking two sports that aren't really similar, but they share a name in large parts of the country. Yeah, we're back because we're not only talking traits, we're also talking NFTs. They I like them better at different prices. You know, Stonkbrokers at 0.01, man, it's pretty ugly. At an ETH, not gonna lie, I like the art. At 5 ETH, it's the freaking Mona Lisa. That gold bow tie is real grail at that point. Frosty said, I like the tech, but not the art of the Stonkbrokers. Yeah, it's pixel art's pixel art. It's like for some people, it's not for some people. It just is what it is. I think it's fine. I'm not. If it was just the art, I'm probably not collecting a lot of pixel art at this point in my life. But because it's more than the art, I like it. And very, I mean, different. Phrase isn't pixel art per se, but I guess low res, we could say. Not anyways, I do want to get into markets are ripping, index, stockbrokers, pawns. It's not just the bonk bounced after they had that governance attack not too long ago. Pawns up 72% on the day. That is the current Launchpad token. It briefly hit 39 mil. And per the one title here, Robinhood chain is just taking basis lunch. Like it is.
In what sense? Or is it like are we talking about like the meme coin part? Are we talking about
motion
gaps? Like just like where the money's flowing?
Yeah. In some cases liquidity, but I think deeper than the net liquidity moving. No, and it's not that all Robinhood volume has moved from base. Some has. I can pull up a chart here and see exactly how much in a minute, but I'm not picking on Jesse, but it sounds like almost like we know this. It sounds kind of like defeated coming from a leader of this chain. When of all the L2s, I think it's safe to say that the like base and Robinhood chain are the most two direct competitors in the sense that they both have, they're both the centralized exchange. They both have a, massive base of retail users. Like there's no other L2s that are like base and Robinhood chain when it comes to their existing distribution and the competitive advantage they have on that front. It's been one of the big competitive advantage for a long time. I think it's partially what's led to BZ having record month after record month after record month as they went from blast to flow and then multi-chain on base. And it opened up a lot, from an on-ramp to a lot more users. And I said it earlier, I think BZ is probably pulling base forward from the RWA standpoint. Base spent so much time, on like clown shit.
We are the number one consumer DApp.
And you should be, because it's an actual consumer DApp. It's not some clown shit like coin this and coin that. Like they wasted so much time on, and I don't know everything, but that just seemed freaking pointless. Like, and I'm not saying like social on chain can't work. I mean, or social trading can't work. Look at FOMO. It's just like they forced something that wasn't working, and instead of realizing like, hey, this was an experiment, it didn't work, they just kept doubling down and tripling down, and it's like they finally got it. Like, and he admitted, like, hey, that didn't work. Yeah, it's okay to experiment. I don't want people to be afraid of failure and to not experiment. But when you're in a position Base is in, I know Base Chain is a startup, but Coinbase is not. Coinbase is a publicly traded company. They have millions of users. The world is coming on chain. If any company was positioned to be a leader in tokenized stocks and equities, it was Coinbase. And first it was Hyperliquid took their lunch on that front. Now even Solana has done more on the tokenized RWAs, tokenized stocks, than his Base. I'm quoting Jesse now. I've got this shared on screen for those looking at the video, but I'm quoting for the audio listeners later. Jesse from Base says, one thing Robinhood chain has done right is have tokenized equities in an EVM environment. We've been behind on this at Base, and I'm frustrated that's the case. Whose fault is that? But we're close to fixing it with Coinbase. And when we do, we'll have one-to-one backed equities versus Robinhood derivatives that should scale much better from a trust, capital efficiency, and institutional acceptedness. The largest capital market in the world, plus the incredible financial programmability of supercharged EVM on Base, is going to be a powerful combination. He's not wrong, but why did it take Robinhood to go do the thing for you to realize this? Like, is it ego? They just thought you could keep coining this until it finally took off? Like, is it? I don't get it. Like, I'm not trying to pour on Base, but in a world, as the world's coming on chain, like remember, they still are positioned well. I'm not saying it's over, but I can't remember the last thing where someone had such a first mover advantage. And I know there was other L2s. I know Base wasn't the only chain, but I'm talking a centralized exchange, publicly traded companies that had tens of millions of users, and then launch a new division. They had a year's head start, multiple years head start over Robinhood. And I know it's early, and I know the new shiny toy gets attention here. This isn't the first time that's happened. But if all Robinhood had was memes, this would not be my stance. I would not have this take. If all Robinhood had was just a meme launch pad, okay, great. We've seen this before. But how they're moving, how the leadership's moving, how they're like, it's been focused on RWAs from the jump, and they keep beating the RWA drum. They have the tokenized equities live. Does it matter that they're derivatives versus one-to-one back equities? I don't really care as long as they cash out, and so far they do. Like, I know there's some inherent risks there, if it was some startup L2 with an Anon founder team, I probably wouldn't feel the same. And I know the whole GME thing. I just, maybe I'm the naive one, but I have a little bit of trust that I don't think Robinhood is going to rug everyone and the derivatives not cash out. Like, maybe I'm wrong there, but it's, again, I don't think that to be the case. I think, today you want to go sell some stocks you have on Robinhood, you can sell it. You can swap to any token. There's no issues. Will it always be the case? I don't know. You do have a little bit of risk there, I guess. But Wiz of Soho here, the first comment kind of sums it up. Kind of sums up my feelings. Base has had the mega lead, but y'all cooked yourself, man. People study this fumble as case studies. And he's probably right. Like, fast forward 10 years, and if Robinhood chain is 10x base chain, there's going to be a Harvard case study, Harvard Business Review, like the Harvard business case. Like, this is how did the larger company, the more valuable company, was multiple years early to a new division, in this case, a blockchain. How did they fumble such a lead so quickly? And that's what's so wild to me, is how fast it seems to have shifted from not just volume, but the motion and just the support. And while Base has its RWAs, where would they be without BZ? BZ is a great consumer app. Base is fortunate to have you all. And I know Base is like, oh, they're the big boys, publicly traded company. BZ is a startup. Base is fortunate to have BZ. Will Base maintain that volume once BZ goes multi-chain on Solana? I don't know. I'm not saying all the volume is going to go to Solana. I don't think. I think that liquidity probably stays in the buckets it's in, but I don't know. And I'm not trying to put Joey on the spot here, but as you guys are very clearly went the multi-chain approach, what's stopping you from also launching on Robinhood at some point? And that's where I go back to, like,
Nothing.
It comes down to, like, the leadership. It comes down to how they're moving. It comes down to their focus. And I know it's very early and things could change, but it seems to me that Robinhood is kind of like laser focused on their chain and what it's for, what they're building. Base seemed like still not to have a clue. And now that they've had Robinhood show them how to do it, like, oh crap, we need to do this. We're going to do it better. Good luck. And yeah, horrible comms don't help. I mean, it's not just Jesse. I'm not picking on Jesse, and I'm not picking on Brian, but Brian's caught a lot of flack recently, swapping his PFP to something unknown, but there were claims he didn't know there was a meme coin based around it. And then, got a hard time because he had his fake CryptoPunk. So he finally swaps to a real CryptoPunk, which he bought months ago. But then when he did that, it nerfed the token that I'm not saying that's Brian's fault. Like, people who are trading on that, like, the game you're playing. But yeah, it's like the creator coin issue was so costly to them from my perspective. Did it cost Coinbase real dollars? I don't know. I guess a year of Jesse's salary. But what it cost them was time, because they focused so much on that, on the creator coins and Zora and stuff that just seemingly had virtually zero interest from the non-crypto natives. I know there was some people farming Base, and I know there's some people here that got excited about creator coins. When their mission was to onboard 1 billion people on chain, I did not see that going. And hey, I've been wrong before. There's maybe some alternate timeline where they were right and creator coins onboarded millions of people and they stayed on chain. But we know how these play out. And thus far, I think every single creator coin, whether on Base or a celebrity coin or whatever, they've all trended to zero. Not like down 90%, like literal zero. And that's not a great experience. Maybe if you did onboard, 1,000 people, the 1,000 people probably left and they never come back because they got burnt. So yeah, the comms are and again, I feel bad because I'm feel like I'm talking behind Jesse's back. I'm picking on Jesse. It just seems so many unforced errors on basis front. And yeah, I'm going to hand it to Joey here, let him get in here. And I'm going to pull some actual data so you can see the volume and how quickly things have moved, because it's been shocking to me to see how, like, they blew the 28-3 lead. Like they blew the 3-1 lead. And now to not only blew the leads, like now they're seems to be like scrambling and almost in like freak out mode that, oh crap, this is not good. Joey, go ahead.
Yeah. So two things. Robinhood is actually twice the size of Coinbase. So when you made the comment about like the bigger company, Robinhood's actually way bigger. Robinhood's market cap's like 90 billion or 90 billion, and Coinbase is like 48 billion. So Robinhood has more money behind them technically.
I did not know this. Today I learned. I did not. I mean, I've held some coin, I've held some Robinhood, but yeah, if you asked me today, I did not realize that Robinhood was 2x that of Coinbase market cap.
I mean, I think part of it, so two things. So I think first off, when you're in the crypto space, you can get very caught up in all of the things happening, right? Like when you go on Coinbase right now, we've talked about this. They have perps, they have sports betting, they have staking, they have buying and selling, and like they have everything, right? Like they're trying to integrate every single aspect of what's available on chain. And when you do that and you try to do everything, a lot of times, and I'm just speaking out loud, right? I'm not saying this is the case with Coinbase, but a lot of times when you try to do everything, you don't do any one thing great, right? So I think, when I was signing in to Coinbase for the World Cup, not World Cup, like the Super Bowl, I think it was what it was. And even for some of the NBA playoffs, it was like earn your share of 1 Bitcoin by, picking the winner, right? And they're trying to get you into like the sports betting, and right, like they're kind of, so where all Robinhood has done since its inception, like Robinhood was created for people that can't afford to buy stocks to get into them, and not like penny stocks. Like, when you wanted, most normal people couldn't afford at the time when Robinhood was created to buy a share of Google or to buy a share of Apple, right? Like those things sometimes would trade $500, $1,000, whatever it is, right? So Robinhood, the whole premise of Robinhood was fractionalized stock ownership. So you can buy a piece of Google, a piece of Apple, right? So they've been doing stocks since day one. So it doesn't surprise me that what they're doing with on-chain stocks is better than anybody else, because that's who they are, right? That's their secret sauce. The ability for the normal everyday person to easily purchase stocks as well as other assets. Again, I've told this story before. My dad uses Robinhood for crypto because it's really simple. He's 72. He wants to own some crypto, and Robinhood makes it really, really simple. So when you're talking about two companies that the kind of like ethos and like what they were founded on are very different. So it's not surprising, in my opinion, that Robinhood is winning the tokenized stocks race, because they've been fractionalizing and making stocks accessible since day one. Whereas Coinbase, a crypto company, is trying to offer all the things crypto Web3 to keep up with all the trends and all the platforms, which is not easy.
Yep. Yeah. No, I mean, makes sense. I guess I didn't realize that Robinhood was first to fractionalize stocks either, but yeah, that definitely makes sense. Speaking of, I said,
that was the namesake behind it, though, right? Robinhood, like rob from, steal from the rich, give to the poor. That's what their ethos was, is that normal people who can't afford, to get into these big stocks, but want to create a portfolio of the most successful companies, could do that by owning a quarter, a half, or whatever of stock shares.
I said I'd share some data here. So total TVL base is still quite a bit in the lead. 4.6 billion, Robinhood 275 million. However, that's in the last 7 days, that Robinhood number's up 72%, where base is up 6%. Bridge TVL base is at 12.84 billion, Robinhood just under $1 billion. Stables base like 430 million, base 4.8 billion. Now, where things get interesting, the 24-hour DEX volume, base is still 2x. Base is like 927 million, Robinhood 549 million. This again, just last 24 hours. Fees, base has made 70 grand in the last 24 hours. Robinhood 140 grand. So despite base still doing more DEX volume, having far more liquidity on chain, Robinhood is 2x the amount of fees in the last 24 hours, 140K to 70K. And I think more so than just the metrics, than the raw KPIs, it seems to me that like the motion, like the sentiment is hey, maybe it's because it's new, maybe because people are, doing well in the trenches over there. But it seems to me like the sentiment is far more positive on crypto Twitter towards Robinhood. And it seems like maybe at all-time lows for base. It's going to be really interesting how this plays out. But yeah, it really does seem that Robinhood is quickly, I guess they haven't leapfrogged them on most metrics, not yet. At this clip, though, it's not going to be much longer, and I think they will. And there is a world where that liquidity comes from Hyperliquid or others. The active users go from other platforms, not Base. But to me, it seems like Base is the one-to-one comparison, the one-to-one competitor, and yeah, I think Robinhood's winning. Mr. Benjamin White. Missed it earlier. I did tease the upcoming show that I'm super stoked to launch you today. It's called Football. If you're not giving Ben a follow, go hit that now. We'll be coming back at you live here at 11 a.m. Eastern today, and then 10 a.m. Eastern on Tuesdays and Fridays going forward. But GM Sir, we'll have plenty to chat about on the soccer and football streets here in a couple hours. But thoughts on this conversation this morning? Thoughts on Robinhood versus Base or anything that we've been hitting on?
I guess I'm going to echo what Joey's saying. Like, I think the big thing here is that Robinhood is very, very clear in terms of narrative, in terms of tone, what it is trying to achieve, North Star, etc. And Base, I've said this for a long time, like it's felt a bit schizophrenic. Mm-hmm. And not only that, there was this line that Jesse would use all the time, which was like bringing everything on chain. Like everything would exist on chain. You could make a tweet and it would be on chain. You could make and it felt so unnecessary and I just, that for me, that is the biggest issue that Base have had, is that so much of what they have enabled has been a response to a question that was never asked, versus what Robinhood are doing, which is essentially answering questions. They are with great intention trying to bring people on chain so that they can trade, and that is the absolute North Star of them. And so it's no wonder they're going in the direction that they are. I feel though, like if Base genuinely try to pivot into that, they will just become an also-ran. I don't think they're going to do as good a job of that based on like who their audience is now, how broadly they've kind of like cast their net and all of the different things that they've going on. So for me, I think like Jesse, Brian, whoever it is, I think those guys are a little bit, no doubt they're clever, they're really smart people, but I kind of feel like they're a little bit tone deaf, and they probably would be really well served to go bring in a couple of executives from maybe outside of crypto to show them all of the infrastructure that they've got, which is there is absolutely no doubt that what Base is and has and can deliver is incredible. But I think maybe they need to look a little bit further afield and then get their heads on what are we here to do? What are we trying to achieve?
Yeah, well said. It does feel like they haven't had like a true north. Like what, oh, you want to onboard 1 billion people on chain. Okay, how? Like for what? And in a world where blockchain space is a commodity, super competitive, why are they going to come on Coinbase, or why are they going to stay on Coinbase? You might have an edge on onboarding them on the on-ramp because they're in your app, but then what? Why stay on Coinbase when you have a litany of other options? And it just seems very like they have schizophrenic and now reactive. Oh crap, this, Robinhood's having success here. So I guess the question, like, if you're in that boardroom, what do you even tell them to do? Like, I genuinely don't know the answer. Like, I don't know. I would say lean into RWAs, but that not just tokenized stocks, like more the collector stuff. You have a head start with BZ, like lean into that sort of stuff. All RWAs that aren't, I mean, not saying don't do tokenized stocks or don't do tokenized equities. They should, but I just don't know as if that by itself is like, what's their thing? And I don't
What is that?
know they have that.
Because in the last 3 years, it's been art, then it's been creators, then it's been tokens, then it's been AI agents. Like they had a really good run with Banker, for example. Like that, that's a great product. And I think maybe if you are looking to say, if you were a top exec getting paid big bucks going in there, go save the world, what would you do? I would go look at all of the products that they've got that have been built on Base, that have got significant volume and users, and try and pick through it and make sure that it's not just botted pretend volume. And if you can really lay your hands on kind of like the secret sauce of what has been successful, and then go get behind it and go galvanize it and go rally troops around it, like this insistent need to go and innovate all of the time. I think innovation is great. Sometimes the best thing you can do with a platform is refine it rather than kind of change it or rebuild it. And so my honestly, for me, like the thing that they should be doing is highlighting who the top builders are that have really made an impact on their chain, and go get behind them and say, like, what can we do for you? How can we help you, and in return help ourselves turn this into something where we genuinely have like genuinely have direction and know what we want to continue to build. Because for me, it hasn't felt clear for, I don't know, like 12 months. I mean, it's never really felt fully clear, but right now it feels completely, I've got no clue what they are trying to be.
It feels less clear today than it ever has. And I'm not saying it was great when they were doing the Creator Coin thing, but at least they had I guess they were marching, like they had a drum beat. Like we knew what they were focused on. It was awful, I felt, but at least.
I worked for a really amazing company about I'm old. About 10 years ago. And I worked with an amazing guy who is now an MBE in the UK for services to food production and farming and things like that. This is my background before I came into Web3. And I remember he always had this saying, which was, you don't know good until you experience good. And I feel like as a space, like we are being schooled on what good really looks like in terms of narrative, in terms of delivery, in terms of like having things ready. And look at the shit that we've been through. And I'm not actually being specific about Base here. I'm saying the Mega ETH launch, like launched with, I mean, very little to do. The what's the one that Abstract? The Abstract launch, like looked good for 5 minutes, very little follow up. What's the other one that came out more recently?
Well, I think of Monad. I felt the same. I mean,
Yeah,
Monad
Monad,
raised
there we
so
go.
much money
So-
and they had nothing. Like I still, they say I don't know what you're doing on Monad.
Do. And you know, people are like, oh, it was an incredible marketing campaign, the way they distributed their token to everybody. And I think, well, fucking hell, man, like that's like that should be, and I'm probably sounding a bit flippant when I say it now, that should kind of be the easiest bit to do, right? Like get people excited about what you're doing and distribute fucking free money.
Is it
easy peasy, guys? Like it just, for me, it feels a little bit like you don't know good until you know good. And actually what we've seen is a lot of people who have been delivering like Web3 as Web3 has been, and now you're seeing what genuine, like, I'm not going to call it Web2. I'm just going to say what really good marketing and like shipping looks like from a company that wherever it goes, it delivers quality pretty quickly. That's what I would say.
I wonder, because they have also had winners. I think that's what we talk about Beezy. And yeah, I'm a Beezy fan. Beezy sponsors our Coffee with Captain segment, and I brought the badge and like I'm a Beezy fan. Beezy's a great consumer dApp. And I know that I believe they're happy with Base and they've shown them support. But you mentioned BankerBot. Like there's been like some real winners launched on Base. And
for sure.
I don't know as if
was it Zora? Was it for
yeah.
a while? Like it was that was quite fun. It felt like a good space. A lot of people went and checked it out. Many people went and minted artwork. Like, you know, there was lots that you could do there. And then look at the success that Manifold had.
Yeah. Another one.
You know, like and they were very quickly on Base.
So I wonder, did they do enough to support them though? You know, because that's the point. That's the point, is that they've kind of, it feels a bit like they've said, look, we're not going to back anyone. We'll give people a fair crack, and you know, we'll repost their stuff and stuff. But I think, you know, if you've ever been on the Base app, it's never felt like the kind of super app that it could be, where it genuinely goes out and finds like the best builders that are doing anything on Base and brings them together and presents them in a way where anyone who has got anything to do with what's happening on chain is like, I want to fucking I must go check out what's the headline product or dApp or you know, drop that's happening this week, and you know, I need to make sure I'm switched on and I'm looking at it. Like I've never felt that sense of I don't know if urgency is the right word, but I've just never felt like they've really rallied behind what people are doing on the chain and tried to kind of like curate it and nurture it, you know, the way they could. With the budget that I'm certain that they could have nurtured so much more out of the people that have been building and delivering really good stuff there. Exactly. Both ways. They could have done more, I feel, amongst like the crypto natives, whether it's comms, marketing, showing support of those builds. Virtuals is another one we haven't even mentioned yet. Like there's been a lot of like real winners that have found product market fit.
I absolutely forgot virtuals, and you would probably say around the time of that like AI token boom, that arguably has delivered more revenue than any of them altogether. Like in terms of fees that must have generated at the time, because I mean, virtuals was massive. So
what, you know, could they have supported those builders better in the crypto world and thrown their weight, whether it's crypto Twitter or otherwise? And then I think secondly, like the on-ramp of those millions of users that are using that are Coinbase users, have they done much, if anything, to funnel them into the on-chain world, funnel them onto Base? Base app, again, also recently changed. It's now under Kobe's purview. I think like one thing I will give credit for is I gotta get my little rec card every time I do this. You know, the rec coin drop, like it's the app is smooth, it works. Like it was an eye opener for me when I scanned this QR code after I bought some rec energy drink, and like within seconds I had rec coin in my wallet in my Base app, and I didn't have to claim it, I didn't have to sign anything. I scanned the QR code and boom, next thing I know there was $20 of rec coin in my Base. Like that's a great consumer experience. It's very easy, very intuitive, very simple. Joe, I want to read Jesse's quote, and then Joey, I don't want to just pour on Base because I know you guys, I think, you know, have been fans of Base. It's led to record months. do you feel there's more they could do, or you been, hey, they're actually doing a lot. A lot of our new customers we think are coming from the base app, and they are onboarding retail. We're just not seeing it on our end. Jesse says the facts remain. Base is focused on rebuilding finance, trading, payments, agents, and the long tail of innovation by builders. And yes, trading memes too. Two, we'll keep scaling our support builders. We'll keep scaling our support builders from batches to BEF to scaled distribution with a focus on products that organically gain traction. Three, we're not going anywhere and we'll win by showing up day after day to try things, learn, and get better. I'm not trying to pour on the guy, but I double down on like horrible comments. Like, what does even half that mean? I don't know. Joey, are we being too hard on base? Are you guys, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot, make you uncomfortable, or please don't say anything that's going to get you or BZ in trouble. But do you think they're helping of these record months? Do you think a lot of that's CT that's just seeing you now easier because you're on base? Do you feel you're getting new users that Coinbase is bringing them by way of base? Like, what are your thoughts? If you're comfortable speaking to this, if not, no comment is an acceptable answer. Not trying to get you in trouble.
Yeah, they without a doubt, our move to base was one of, if not the best decision we made as a company, right? Like since launching on base in January, every single month has been a record month. And I attribute that to a couple things. Number one, yes, being on base. The tools available to us, the accessibility, the on-ramp, the off-ramp, all of that has been huge. Base, being on the base app has been huge for us, right? Gives people a much easier mobile experience. And yes, the amplification from the base team. Selfishly, everybody wants more though, right? Like I can't imagine there's a single dApp on a single chain that wouldn't raise their hand and go, I want more, right? Like I want more amplification. I want more marketing, right? Because you want your company, your whatever you've built to be the best, right? So you want more amplification. But they've done an incredible job. We have a private Telegram group. We have they're very responsive. I have no complaints, right? Like it's been an amazing experience. With that being said, I go back to my point before about, that comment you just read. It hits home to exactly what I said, which was how many different things did he name off in the first point of that comment? It's like, I understand that you want to do all of these things, but again, if you're doing all of the things, how many of those things do you become really good at? Right? Like there's a reason why, and like to relate it to sports, since you have your sports show today, there's a reason why there's very few people in the history of the NFL that have played both sides of the ball well, right? Because you focusing your attention to learn multiple game plans and multiple positions and multiple strategies, it doesn't end well, right? There's only been a handful of people. Even, same with sports. Like there's a reason why when you're growing up, when you get really good, outside of Deion Sanders and Bo Jackson, right? Like how many guys play multiple sports, even though they're an incredible athlete and they can play more than one? It's because it's really hard to do more than one thing really well. And it's not just base. We've seen it with other companies too that try to venture into, other verticals or launch different products or whatever. So I love Coinbase. I'm never going to leave Coinbase. I think their mobile app and their website are extremely user-friendly, extremely easy to use. I think base chain isn't going to go anywhere. I just think that if they truly want to onboard the next 100 million people or whatever they said, they got to pick something that resonates with consumers, really, really focus on that, and then use that to funnel people to all the other things. You're never gonna have, like, what is your hero, right? And I don't think there's a hero right now, which is why they're kind of, they're just all over. And then on the topic of RWAs, I personally don't know why it's taken so long for so many chains to lean into RWAs. Like, I don't know if they just don't realize how massive RWAs are. When we say RWAs, we're not just talking about trading cards, right? We're talking about oil, stocks, land, right? Like we're talking about all the real world assets. And I don't think some people realize how massive it is. And the fact that it's taking so long, and I'll applaud, I'll give some flowers to certain platforms, like OpenSea's trying to move in that direction a little bit more. Obviously, we've got Robinhood Chain, Base is doing it, but I don't know why it's taken. I mean, we launched BZ 3 years ago, and we're just now starting to see. I mean, shoot, even what Jupiter Exchange now has a pack ripping, right? Like everybody's getting into it. I don't understand why it's taking so long for people to really lean into RWAs and the massive size of the market that they can just take a little piece of, and it'd probably be bigger than anything else they've ever done.
Agreed. I don't even know if I have no notes because it seems so obvious. We're beating the drum. They believe the world's coming on chain. Why not lead into some of these other new, not even necessarily new at this point when we're talking RWAs, but I do want to give another, I'm pouring on, I've got another take to add to it, but before I pour on it, I want to give kind of the other side of the take. So we're not missing something here. We can disagree without being disagreeable. Speaking of dApps that have performed well on Robinhood chain, another one is Aerodrome, which is the leading DEX over there. This is the CEO of Dromos Labs and a core contributor to Aerodrome. He says, imagine if in the next year Base decides to move forward what would likely be the single largest wealth creation event in on-chain history, and you have to explain to your wife and kids that you missed it because in July 26, Brian Armstrong changes PFP. Talking about, he then screenshots of JP Morgan upgrading Coinbase to overweight, some risks, other opportunities emerge. Coin looks to better monetize Base and USDC payouts. It's part of my bear thesis though, is that they are, they get 50% of the revenues of Circle of USDC. It's huge. And I think that the stablecoin space is becoming increasingly competitive with major players, not just OpenUSD, but many others. And I think that they might have diminishing returns on USDC. This was I alluded to this post earlier from Brian that he goes into deep details on. Again, the comms suck. I'm sorry. I'm going to say it. The comms are not great. They're poor and sometimes feel out of touch. Not just me saying this. It's I think a lot of what's driving the sentiment down is that. And it's going to be, I also agree with Joey. They're not dead. They're not going anywhere. But I also think there's going to be multiple blockchains. There's not just going to be one or two. I will say though that even the niche of the niche in the sense of centralized exchanges that have their own exchanges, or that have their own chains, yeah, they both can be relevant. I think one could win the builders. One could, and then with that comes users, right? We talk about multi-chain, what is, that's where I think what's their true north, I think matters more and more. As the world becomes more multi-chain, they're not going to have their own native dApps they're homegrown dApps that are exclusive to their chain. Well, then I think the culture and the sentiment becomes increasingly important. This is from Dune, or this co-founder and CEO of Dune here. Said these days, virtually every fintech and financial institution. Sorry, I'll scroll down so you can see the chart. Virtually every fintech and financial institution is looking at leveraging blockchains for tokenizing assets and or removing friction. Robinhood Crypto is showing the world how fast a well-orchestrated launch can grow. Robinhood Chain launched 3 weeks ago. 700 million of assets now sit on the chain, of which 430 million are stablecoins, 500 million TVL and protocols, notably 200 million in Morpho, earning 7% yield via Stakehouse Financial. This is integrated directly into the main Robinhood app. We haven't even said that yet. Not only did they seemingly leapfrog them on a few other fronts, and I know it's just 1%, but I think Coinbase is still offering 6% on stables, but 7% on stables is huge. Integrated directly into the app. So you talk about an onboarding mechanism, click a few buttons, boom, they're there. Not a separate wallet. Others have said this as well. Coinbase it's confusing. They had Coinbase Wallet, they had Base app. Kind of Joey's point, chasing all these rabbits, why spread your user base thin? Why confuse them? It is confusing. I'm here every day. I've used them all, but I still don't know what's for what. Whereas Robinhood, just Robinhood, that makes sense to me from a user interface standpoint, from user experience standpoint. It's all one app.
But remember though, when Coinbase launched and they launched Coinbase Wallet, we didn't have the technology like we had today, right? So I would wager if like Coinbase could go back, they probably would have, maybe they would, but maybe they wouldn't have launched Coinbase Wallet, because now all your wallets can be like with Privy and stuff like that. Like you have smart wallets, like you have all this technology that didn't exist initially, which has made things way simpler for newer blockchains like Robinhood, where back in the day, like everything was so fragmented and you had to do stuff like that. So I'd wager if Coinbase could go back, they would, let's launch a smart wallet, let's launch an embedded wallet, let's do all those things, but they didn't exist before.
Yeah, fair. I mean, maybe this is a case of, yes, Base was early, but maybe here is a case where they're, dare I say, too early. And we might be seeing like real second mover advantages for Robinhood chain here. Seeing, okay, where did Base mess up? What did they do well? And Robinhood has the advantage of a fresh start, of building it from zero on June 29th and hitting the ground running with, if they've been paying attention, a couple years of history, and like, hey, Vlad, don't come out with some coin everything campaign. That doesn't work. No one wants to coin your posts, your tweets. Like that's not it. Jay, probably a good take here, says both Robinhood and Coinbase true north is the almighty dollar. Greed is what handicapped Coinbase, and Robinhood will prove they're shady again in this next run up. Potentially so. They are publicly traded companies, so they do have a fiduciary responsibility to increase shareholder value. So I don't fault them for driving revenues and profits. Greed is another issue, and
I mean, Robinhood did turn, well, during that whole like GameStop thing, didn't they turn off?
Yeah.
It wasn't just GameStop, right? There was a couple stocks that were going like crazy, and they just decided to like turn off trading or like freeze things or something, which really upset a lot of people, which, if you're coming on chain, I think that's like the opposite of what people on chain want. So it's not like they have the best history when it comes to some of this stuff.
Fair. Yeah, they did pause trading. I don't know. I wasn't caught up in I wasn't trading GME on Robinhood when they did this, but during the run up, it was maybe both. They basically stopped. They paused it when it was. Yeah, it was AMC and GameStop was the two they paused, and I think they paused it like when it was ripping up. So like
there was something with like the shorts and the longs, and like people were getting liquidated, and then like so they just like stopped allowing people, because all the activity was on, I think was a lot of it, well not all, but a lot of it was on Robinhood.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they just stopped it, and people were like, "What are you doing with my money?"
Yeah, and at that time they had just become their own clearinghouse, and they couldn't afford to cash those people out. So basically, they had made changes. This GME and AMC are ripping up to unforeseen levels. People wanting to sell and cash out, and they didn't have the proper liquidity to do that. Apparently, per Jay here, which is an issue. Like that should have came with some repercussions. But yeah, and I do think there's a lot of people that haven't forgot that. They'll never forget that, and cost people in some cases 6, 7, 8, 9 figures that they're never going to be a fan of Robinhood. Despite all that, at least in the world of CT, at least in my timeline echo chamber, I don't know, man. Seems like Robinhood has won over CT much more so than Base has, if we're talking about these two specifically. But thanks for filling in the gap there, Jay. Appreciate the backstory. I had missed that. But I think good time. Let's Hans, thank you very much for the generous Pingu tip. As always, greatly appreciate that. Over on Abstract, we got Drew joining us. I think Drew was around during the GME AMC run up and subsequent issues there. So before I do daily market update, and then I actually have some exciting news on the Clarity Act. But before we go there, Drew, GM, am I correct in thinking you were around and trading some GME, some AMC during the Mania? Were you a Robinhood user?
I recommend everyone. It's probably one of like top 6 movies, like there with Founders, McDonald's, playlist, Spotify, everything. They released a movie on GME with Roaring Kitty, and it like explains it perfectly, and a lot of real use cases where, you know, people held the bag too much. Some people cashed out and they regretted it at the time, but then they actually made, you know, like 200K profit. And, you know, when they shut off Reddit and when they disabled the buy and it was only a sell because they didn't have 3 billion. I mean, it's a phenomenal movie, and really reminds me a lot of CT. And, you know, people just, you know, they're sitting on so much money that is life-changing money, and they're just holding on for that extra like 20% when in the end they just end up losing everything. It portrays it like perfectly.
Zane agrees. Said great film. What is it called? Is it called? Do you know the name of the film?
Let me look it up real quick. I literally was just watching it yesterday.
And I've seen it. I remember seeing highlights, but I actually haven't watched it. So I will.
Oh, I'd watch the whole entire Dumb Money.
Dumb Money. Cool. Awesome.
Yep.
Adding to the list. Need of a. I'm debating. I'm not gonna derail the conversation on a House of the Dragon take. I did watch the latest episode, and
it's on Netflix actually.
Dumb Money.
Dumb Money.
Dumb Money. Yeah, awesome.
Dumb Money.
I may watch it. I may watch it tonight. Yeah, Paul Dano.
It's actually a great watch. You should watch it.
Seth Rogen. Yeah, I would definitely watch it. I may. That may be on my. If I find time today, that'll be on my watch list.
Another good one, if you ever want to watch, is Margin Call.
Yeah, I have seen that one. Margin Call and oh geez, I'm drawing a blank.
There is a third one. I know what
you know exactly what I'm talking about.
The Kevin Spacey one.
I'll spit it out like I got Tourette's later. But yeah, God's gonna bug me. Anyways, let's do this while I stump myself with the name of a third movie. House of the Dragon. That kind of hit a wall. The Big Short. That's actually not what I was thinking of, but that's also another great one that is in the like the realm of like financial movies that are very entertaining. And yeah, surprising number of actual good financial movies. Taken probably subjects that are not entertaining for most people and made them very entertaining. Let me, I'll do this Clarity Act take. And then we'll roll right into Daily Market Update. And then Jesus, Drew, TMA, Prathio, feel free to take it anywhere you'd like after I share this. And we'll do just a real quick Daily Market Update to show everyone some numbers. This is from Simon of Moonrock Capital talking about this Clarity Act. Says the market is wildly underestimating the odds of the Clarity Act passing. It's mooning, by the way. It's way up. It was down to like 30% now. I think as last I looked this morning, it was like 80%. So it seems inevitable. Eleanor, I'll find her post here in a bit. She shared yesterday that they basically come to an agreement. They made some revisions regarding, regarding like transparency or, some of the issues they had, and said that went back to the other group. And so it seems like we're getting close. Back to Simon's post here. It says on top of that, people don't even realize that while the Genius Act was signed into law, it only becomes effective January 2027. The floodgates for crypto's biggest killer use case, aka stablecoins, are opening in less than 6 months. And the biggest catalyst for on-chain businesses, aka alts, is now within reach too. Looking at the market, these haven't been priced in yet, but hey, they're one of the biggest catalysts our industry has ever had. He's quote tweeting Matt Hugan here, who says, agree with Scott Melker. For many months, the market was overestimating the odds that Clarity would pass. Now it's underestimating those odds. If this thing passes, winter is over. The quote tweet there was Wolf All Streets said, didn't expect this, positive development. This was the White House agree on Clarity Act's ethics package, potentially clearing the way for updated bill. Let me see if I can find Eleanor's post, who I think she was the first to break this yesterday. And it does seem like, while Simon says underestimating it, I think they've now rebounded this morning and realized that, hey, either that or it's everyone, it's like a blogger, a beat writer had something to say that wasn't really real. And trying to catch the right. I have Eleanor's account. I'm just I'm looking for the, I'll share as I go along here so you can see what I'm looking at. Eleanor's a good like a real journalist. Her journalist and host of Crypto America, formerly at Fox Business, breaker of news. The ethics clouds clarity path to the Senate floor following last Thursday's meeting between Trump and the Republican senators. The White House has yet to agree on ethics parameters while the industry still awaits updated. That was on the 20th, but then just 15 hours ago, she says, I'm hearing from multiple industry sources that the White House has agreed on an ethics package for the Clarity Act and has sent the language to certain Senate Republicans this afternoon. This was yesterday. It's still unclear what the details of the agreement are. She's reached out for comment, but industry participants are hopeful this could clear the way for an updated bill text to be released soon. And if you've been following along, I know we've hit on it a few times here, like the clock is ticking. Like if they don't get Clarity Act passed ASAP, it heads into August recess, and then they come back for midterms, and we're probably looking at 2027. And I also know there's some people who think the Clarity Act is not great as worded, and it shouldn't pass. Polymarket has it still at a 42% chance, so it's not ripped up quite as much. 43% chance now. They got that coffee with Captain Pump in real time. And then Kaushi has it worded differently. Theirs is, will the Senate vote on the Clarity Act before the August recess? And that is now 69%. So if it gets to a vote and it passes, 71% also got the coffee with Captain Pump. So up big from just the 12th, it was down to 44%. So it's went from 44% to 71% in 9 days. Pretty big lift after it was just trending down. It's like, man, this thing is going to die on the vine, not even make it to a vote. Now seems like it's going to make it to a vote. Also, I just noticed this complete derailment. Cleveland was first in the LeBron chase, and then Golden State jumped up. As of this morning, Miami, the huge favorite to land Braun. I knew they were in the running, but I thought it was Golden State and Cleveland that had jumped in the lead. Miami's now 46% chance to land Braun. Cleveland 28%, Golden State 13% chance. He needs to make a decision though. That said, good time for a daily market update since I got derailed a little bit there. We'll save our sports talk until it's called football, debuting today at 11 a.m. Eastern time. This is the daily market update.
Coffee brewing. Yeah, the markets in play, charts on the screen. What the numbers gonna say? We got offer in the cup every single day. Coffee with Captain, market update on the way.
We're going to start with the majors. Also, people are asking, might be the people, is ApeCoin has become a stable coin? I just saw it's still hanging out around 15 cents. Bitcoin up 2.84% of the day to 66,435. ETH, are we going to hit 2K today? Up 3% of the day, 1933. Love to see it back over 1900. BNB up 1.41%. XRP up 3.89%. Solana up 1.87%. Hyperliquid up 2.36%. So after yesterday where everything was like slightly red, like down less than 1%, today everything is green. Top 10, all green. You got to go ways down. I can't even find a red one. Cardano even up 7%. World Liberty Fi is the first. Oh, it's their stablecoin. Never mind. Everything is green, like green across the board. And yes, World Liberty Fi is actually down. That's the first red one at 37. The meme core, it always trades inverted the market for some reason. I don't know why. I have no idea what it is, but it does have a $1.5 billion valuation and just goes the opposite direction as the rest of the market. But most green day I can remember in a while where so much of the top 100 is green. Also, Fear and Greed hit 40. I can't remember last time I saw it at 40. So bottom might have in fact been in. We were talking about virtuals. Venice, VVV up 13%. Lido up 13%. Lighter up 8%. This is another one I'm waiting for the dip that it did happen and I missed it. Lighter is the founder of Lighter went to high school with Vlad, the CEO of Robinhood. Deep integration there. big partnership, and I'm long. I'd like to be long lighter, but I haven't got that position open yet. But you can see a lot of big winners on the day in the land of tokens. So we head over to NFTs. That Just Tunes we talked about yesterday, it minted out, and I missed it. Quickly ran up to 0.05 ETH floor price. So congrats to the artist and the team. Let's go collections and look at NFTs instead. Looking at NFTs here, sorting by 1 day volume. There's Just Tunes leading the way, not only up to a 0.05 ETH floor, it's about $100. The volume was 170 ETH, 7,500 sales. So big volume there for another new mint. Higher effort, a lot was working on it for quite a while, and but unlike stockbrokers, where it's baked in with utility and RWAs and earning, this is just art and vibes, and so love to see that people can introduce digital art, and it mints out, does well. Punks are flat at 32 ETH. Pudgies are down 1% to 4.09. Stockbrokers gave up a little bit. They're down 15%, but still 1.5 ETH floor. If you had told me they were going to be 1.5 ETH on Friday, I told you you're crazy. But here we are, in another 48 ETH in volume. There was also, I saw a whale, I think burnt like 60,000 stockbroker token to level up, I don't know, a dozen or so their stockbrokers to partners. Poyo, up 128% on the day. I've seen a lot of people talking about this one. It popped. It's still 0.045, so a little under $100 USD, but had a massive day, massive run up yesterday. Apes up 1.4% to 8.72. Mutants down 1.9% to 1.2. Milady's up 1%. Little Pudgy's up 2% on the news that they're in 1,800 targets. Beefern's down 2%. Moonbird's down 11%. Wonder what happened there. Cash Cats, that was came off of the back of Cash Cat the meme over on Robinhood. It sold off 46%. Be careful with these degen mints. On-chain hoodies, another Robinhood NFT. It's up 68% after being pretty volatile. Hypers down 0.5%. Squiggles down 1%. Project Aeon. This is the NFT that's associated with SPX 6900 Maraud's coin. So might be a little motion there coming out of the as things start heating up. You know, you've made it as a brand new NFT collection, and we might actually be heading into NFT season 2 when you start seeing derivatives. Stockbroker Punks just launched. Please don't go mint this thing. I mean, I shouldn't say that. I don't know. Maybe it's really great people, but typically derivatives aren't it. But yeah, congratulations, Simple Farmer, for already having a derivative project out. There's others that are actually, I think, are mimicking the approach. We'll talk about that when we get to our Keeping It Real segment today, but I think we're going to see a lot more collections like this. I think I'm not just glazing you, it's small bags, but it's bags. So I know there's some bias, there's some embedded bias there, but I do think we're going to see a lot of these types of NFT projects, this type of, like, how can you incorporate RWAs as a reward to your token, to your NFT? I think we're going to see a lot more of this. Dare I say, it might be the next meta for NFTs, is how can you earn some stocks along with it, with those fees? Some of you were doing buybacks and burning their token. What if you did buybacks and bought not your token, but some stocks or other, more experimenting on chain. We saw success with stockbrokers. We're going to see others look to replicate that success and hopefully put their own twist on it. It's not just a derivative of the art. Funkari got the coffee with Captain Pump yesterday. We were talking with TMAs. I said I need to get in, and instead of giving me an entry, it ripped up another 13%, now to 2.6 ETH floor. You love to see it. Normies down 8% to 0.37. And I think that's most of the big ones. I did see this. I don't know why Frog69MG reminded me. I saw a meme land. I saw that the potatoes were actually getting ready to flip the captains, which is shocking. Captains were the flagship collection, even though they came second. Potato, this is the in meme land world. I don't know what's going on over there. I haven't been following, but I was shocked to see potatoes getting ready to flip the captains. That is our daily market update. Love to see regenerants pumping as well. Our guy Jed up 23% to 0.05 floor. continues grinding. And again, love to see winners winning. Love to see good people winning. And the experimenters, the on-chain builders, the community builders, we are having a moment, and it really does make my day when it's not. And no offense, you don't have to reveal yourself. You can remain anonymous if you want. It makes my day when I see people who've been here building for years booking some wins. Just feels better than some completely random person I've never interacted with and brand new account that hasn't been out. Teach their own. I just am I'm partial to those that are attempting to build something that might be sustainable, that might actually bring some new participants, some new builders. Shout out to Tusk, who's been beating the Stonkbrokers drum from the jump. Whew. This is crazy. Another 1K rewarded on the day. Current rewards $2,900. And this is kind of what I was alluding to, where I think we might see more and more. I'm not saying everyone's going to copy the RWA. Oh, everyone's going to get stocks. But Joey said it earlier. Everything's coming on chain. Everything's getting tokenized. Okay, when that happens, someone's going to have an NFT collection that your rewards. Someone's going to end up winning a house. Someone's going to win a car. Like, not a. I can't remember what the D gods called their raffle or whatever, where they gave away a Cybertruck. But there's so much you can do with this tech, and it's programmable technology. Like these are programmable assets that you can build on top of, you can build with. And while I'm excited to see more on-chain loyalty rewards programs, that's what we're going to call this, an on-chain loyalty reward program, not a dividend. And in case of a federal investigation, I don't know these people, I was put here by a third party. But I think we'll see more and more. I hope we see more and more RWA integration. Anything at all, everything, not just collectible cards, not just sports cards, not just stocks and equities. As the world comes on chain, find a way to incorporate it into the tech, find a way to reward those that are here. And yeah, I mean, I'm just excited to see what new business models come out of this, this new, I don't want to call it a hype cycle. I think this is real sustainable stuff. And I'm very, really excited for this season. I want to choose my words carefully, because when I say NFTs are back, it's absolutely not 21, 22. I do believe we've entered NFT season 2. It's going to be very different than NFT season 1, but I think it could be very exciting. I think there could be lots of opportunities. I think there's going to be money to be made. It exists right now. Like if you've been here, and don't be down on yourself if you missed one of these things. It happens. But I do think now is the time to, as the kids say, lock in, pay attention. There's going to be another one. Don't feel like you need to chase. Don't FOMO into something because you missed it. I mean, do what you want to do, but do so with money you can afford to lose, and look for the next thing that seems a little different. Maybe it's some art that taps your nostalgia, that you enjoy the background music, like Phrase is introducing. Maybe it is just purely art that's not just a copy pasta. It's new, it's original IP, and they have big plans for it. Or what's got my attention right now is who's building with RWAs in mind. Jay says Vlad is going to copy Simple Farmer and Stonkbrokers. Screenshot this. He might. I mean, I think others already copied it. I think we're going to see more. Well, whether Robinhood does it or supports a builder, I hope they just choose to support builders than copying something and shipping their own. But it's in range. It very well could happen. But even if they do, is that a problem? As long as the volume keeps going, and stockbrokers aren't stopping, like they're just phase 1. They're introducing their own launch pad. They're introducing 2-3 other like protocols in the relatively near future. As long as they keep generating fees, they're going to continue to buy stock. Like you're going to continue to accrue those rewards. So I think it's not the end of the world if you see other competition. In fact, I'd be shocked if we don't see others replicate it, because it's, they're a clear winner thus far in 2026. I know it's early, but Thomas says Solana should do an RWA version of what Robinhood and Stonkbrokers are doing, but for a Grail, One Piece, or Pokemon. Yeah, more of this, all of it. Bring it all in. One thing that I would love to see is, and I know there's actually one coming, but we talk about competitors and new stuff. Lawyer, I'm thinking about it as well. I'll go share this. Thanks for the mention, because I meant to talk about this earlier and I forgot. But where I was going with that is BZ is awesome. Love BZ. I would love to see more sports cards on there. They have some sports. I have like a Jalen Hurts rookie card. I would like to see a claw machine. They actually have 2 new claw machines coming, so maybe one of them is a sports machine. I don't know. I'm kind of like just making stuff up and guessing here. Thank you for the mention, OX Lawyer. I do want to show Synthwave. I need to I need to book another dub, and then I would roll it into one of these prints. But for me, as I look at opportunities right now, I like the art. This is one I would be happy to just vault and hang on the wall. Where I like, will this appreciate and be worth more a decade from now than it is today? Probably. I feel confident in that. Can I do more with 2K of liquidity in that dry powder in this market? Quite frankly, if I still felt we were in like the depths of the bear, in a weird way, I'm much more likely to drop 2K on a piece of art than I am right now, because I feel there's so much going on, and where I'm looking for, where can I turn over that liquidity? Meaning, in some cases, it's a flip, right? It's get in and get out. In other cases, it might be get into something that accrues value in the short term and pays rewards, or that D word that I probably shouldn't say. This Synthwave, though, is live. It's open for 48 hours. It's a debut print digital from Starry Night series. Highest quality of forms and texture. I dig it. I like the art, especially being on in a beach town. I do dig it. And ACK
Hack is doing one too, actually, Cap. He's doing a limited edition drop, and you can buy his pieces. It's an open edition, and if you buy the one that's $1,999, that one comes without a frame. So it comes with a digital print and an actual physical print, but it doesn't have a frame. And then there's a second version that I believe is $2,400, and that comes with a walnut colored frame as well. So that's currently minting. I think there's about 65 minted so far. It's a pretty dope piece. So it's cool to see like artists doing these kind of things. Right?
I agree. And when we talk about experimenting on chain, this is part of it. Like, it doesn't always have to be something new. Like, I really do truly appreciate the physical and digital pairs. Like, that's, especially if I'm going to drop 2K on a piece of art. And I know, like, in the art world, 2K is nothing. I have a lot of art on my walls, but it's my daughter's art, or it's collectible art. It's not, I don't have a lot of $2,000 pieces of art hung on the wall. I'm much like, if that's all it was a print, I'm probably out. But the fact that there is the digital pair, that piques my interest. Am I going to show off that digital art anywhere? Reality is not. I mean, my OpenSea profile, that's about it today. But I still do believe, like, I don't know, maybe there's a future reward that comes for those digital holders. Maybe there's another artist and they're looking to curate their collector list. They're looking to curate their allow list. And beauty of the blockchain is it's public. So they can see, hey, I want to go, anyone who dropped $2,000 on this Synthwave piece, I'd like them in my collection as well. So you're all allow listed. You're all whitelisted. And you probably shouldn't buy art with that sort of expectation. It's just how I think.
No, I agree. And to be very honest with you, like, even as a collector, right? Like, sometimes I think about, okay, like, how do I recover some of my costs, for example, right? Like, so if there's a digital plus physical edition and I'm not interested in, let's say, the digital version, I can then sell that piece, right? And if I recover a portion of my cost, well, that's even better for me. But to the point being, I feel like experimenting on chain looks different for everyone. When you're a dev, it's different. When you're an IP, it's different. When you're an artist, it's different. So the fact that we are seeing so much innovation on all three fronts, right? Like, on IP front, you have Kano delivering so much. On the Hebrew front, plus the plushies, plus Amazon, you have Pudgy delivering Walmart plus Target, right? Like, so all of these things are happening, and it's just crazy. to see that we're actually living what we thought could be in 2021, right?
Right.
Like we used to dream about things like these.
That's it, man. That's exactly when I say like NFT season 2, it's like NFT season 1 was just all the dreams, the ideas, some cases pipe dreams. There was a lot of experimentation, was very, very fun. It seemed like every day there was something new. Yes, there was a lot of copy pasta, but there was also a lot of new stuff. A lot of the copy pasta was stuff. It was someone tried something new and it worked, and so they copied it. Like, but there was seemingly a lot of experimentation, a lot of new stuff. But season 1, it was like all new brands. Now, whether you're talking brands or artists, you've got brands that are much more established. They've grown to actually have real world revenue outside of crypto and NFT mints. You've got artists that have been around for, if they were brand new in 21, now they've got 5 years of experience, 5 years of building a community. It feels like this season 2 is in, and the tech is light years ahead of where it was in 21, 22. You couldn't do much on chain because gas was crazy expensive. During the mania, you could do stuff, but even like what, silly example maybe to go back to Subducks, but what Subducks did today by migrating to a new chain and airdropping everyone their NFT, they couldn't have done that in 21. Or if they did, it would have cost them 6, maybe 7 figures. No exaggeration. Like to airdrop 7,000 or 10,000 NFTs or whatever that collection size is, it would have been an extreme expense. In fact, I remember on-chain brokers, is that am I thinking? No. Crypto brokers. What was the Josie is the artist? Is it crypto brokers?
It could be. I'm not sure.
They had art. Let's see. I'll try to find it. But I remember they put their art on chain, and I want to say it was like a $7 to $8 million expense, something crazy. And maybe they don't. They're cool with it. No regrets. I wasn't trying to like rub salt in the wound. My bigger point was you like, it was so much more expensive to do that sort of stuff. Therefore you were limited what you could do on chain. Now, not only like is it far more affordable, far faster, like Joey was saying earlier with things like not just Base App, but Privy. Privy doesn't get nearly enough credit as I think they do. And I know there's other options. Shout out Glyph Wallet. And actually, I think Privy does power Glyph as well. But the whole onboarding process is a million times better than what it was in 21, 22. You know, the wallets are better. Like everything is just so much better. So the second season is not so much and we'll see startups. We'll hopefully see some crazy ideas and new experimentation. But we also get to see established companies, stable companies that have done their raises. They've built their teams out, and now they're able to execute and do experimentation on chain and off chain, but actually do some of this stuff. To like your point, some of this seemed like a pipe dream years ago. Shout out to Steve. We're gonna have Steve on the show here in the upcoming weeks and talk about the OpenSea mobile app and more. Yes, it was crypto brokers. Thanks, Stuart. On-chain artwork designed by Josie Bellini. I was gonna see if I could find the collection. It was, I don't know if I ever even actually held any, but now that we're talking about it, I'm genuinely curious what, I can't find it. OpenSea search. We're gonna have to get on. We'll give Steve some real-time feedback that their search is rivaling. Their search is challenging X search at the moment. Crypto brokers. I don't know why I can't find the collection, but I'm near certain and I tried it with the space and without the space, but I am not able to find it on OpenSea. But yeah, that was my Dort saving the day. It is crypto brokers, just like it's spelled. So Steve, you got to work on that search, buddy. You yourself get in the AI labs and figure that out. This is, I'll share for those of you who aren't familiar, just so you can get a glimpse here. The floor price is 0.0273. I think they did launch their game, but like you could kind of like blend these pieces together. I mean, 38,000 ETH in volume, and yeah, it was a really innovative, cool collection. They were pretty dope, but yeah, I don't know why that stuck out as one that like did some cool stuff on chain. Maybe earlier I said was based just too early. Is Robinhood having the second mover advantages? please don't take this out of context. I'm not taking shots at crypto brokers or Josie. Like, I think what they did was great. They might have been too early. And there might be someone now that comes with this almost identical idea, similar art, similar story and lore that may crush it because the tech is better today. You can do so much more than you could back then. And these did cook. I don't remember what the floor price. I mean, it was multiple ETH at one point, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, they still look good. I mean, it's high effort, high quality. She's a great artist. And I do appreciate them investing in the tech, putting the stuff on chain. And speaking of investing in the tech and putting stuff on chain, I am like Osiris. I'm very bullish RWAs. He says, Alien Boy, speaking of OGs, has always built with RWAs in mind, whether it's the team or the community members. We're probably overdue. We should have Georgie Boy on to get an update because I still hold some Alien Boy. Was always a fan, but I never, I haven't stayed up to date. I don't know what is the latest, but shout out to Osiris for keeping us posted. Yeah, maybe drop Georgie Boy a DM and see if he wants to join us for one of these upcoming the Builder's Domain or even a quick pop in. Speaking of the Builder's Domain, we're gonna hit a quick keeping it real here before we let you all get out of here. This is Keeping It Real. If you're not familiar, Keeping It Real is powered by Doma, tokenizing the internet's $360 billion domain market so that you can trade, fractionalize, and earn on names that used to just sit there. DomainFi is live now at doma.xyz.
Buying domains was low, Doma changing the game. One bridge, one standard, now the systems move the same. Registrar, stay central, keep the trust and control. DNS and compliance, still they play the key role. Traded on chain, let new markets arise. Domain value unlocked. Welcome to DomainFi.
Getting paid in actual stock. 2 Robinhood chain projects are airdropping Tesla and NVIDIA to holders. Forget inflationary. We printed more tokens farming on Robinhood chain, which is, as you know, the Arbitrum L2 that went live July 1st, is already doing $3 billion in weekly DEX volume. 2 projects are handing holders real tokenized equities, and they do it in very different ways. Index, we talked about, just ripped 150% in 24 hours. Market cap ran up to 18 million on top of Vlad, the CEO's developer push. The mechanic is trading and protocol fees from across the chain get pulled. They're used to buy real Robinhood stock tokens like NVIDIA, Google, Apple, and are distributed to index holders. Equity-backed yield instead of token emissions. Stockbrokers does it at the NFT level. It's a 4,444 collection by Clutch Markets built on the ERC 6551 token-bound wallet standard. So every broker NFT owns its own on-chain wallet seeded with random real stock token at mint. Tesla, Amazon, Palantir. I think right now it's just Tesla. I'm sorry, it's Amazon, Apple, and NVIDIA. And then you just turned on silver and oil last night. 70% of the Anvil AMM trade fee gets swapped into stock tokens, which are pushed into those activated wallets, landing every 4 minutes and 20 seconds. So similar idea, earn real stock, 2 different mechanics. One, index rewards the token, stockbrokers rewards the NFT wallet. Do you care, chat? Like, do you think one model is better than the other? I'm genuinely curious. I'm partial to stockbrokers because I have a couple stockbrokers. I've talked about index. I should have bought a bag the first day I talked about it. We gave it that coffee with Captain Pump, and I remain sidelined. Do you trust one more for sustainable yield? Does it matter? I mean, at the end of the day, I think it comes down to trading volume, and because that's what's generating the fees. That's what's going to lead to more rewards. Although it's not all things are created equal. You got a supply cap on the stockbrokers. You got to activate those stockbrokers. Index, much larger supply could be those rewards could be divvied up among far more people. So even if index does 10 times the volume, if you have 10 times the amount of active participants, your rewards are the same. These are stock tokens. These are derivatives. These are Robinhood issued representations, not shares you vote with. Just to be clear, that's what Jesse was talking about earlier. This is not a one-to-one back equity. So there is risk there that Robinhood.
They are.
Wait. The Robinhood tokenized stock.
Yeah, they're one-to-one backed in the U.S. They're just derivatives in the EU because they can't do that there yet.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
I
there was a big
misunderstood that
post.
then.
Someone kind of really actually absolutely shit on Jesse, saying that he's absolutely wrong. This is what if everyone
Interesting.
has time, I would go back and listen to when Vlad announced all this.
Okay.
It was Robinhood's "The World Is Flat." He explains it like phenomenally well in like layman terms.
Interesting. Good to know. I mean, so today's Keeping It Real turned it into a the more you know. That's actually a really valuable data point. I must have I knew I'd saw it was they weren't 1-to-1 back, but that was EU due to regulations. In the US, they actually are 1-to-1 back equities. Personally, I didn't really care. Like I just, if Robinhood is going to rug, you know, this is a rounding error on their P&L. And if they were going to rug these tokenized equities, we probably have much bigger problems than that, you know, the tokenized stocks you're holding. But good to know that they actually are 1-to-1 back. It is, am I right in saying it is, even though it's 1-to-1 back, it's still just a representation of, and it doesn't come with any voter rights. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that is accurate. Yeah.
Which again,
and there's no voter rights and no dividends. So
okay.
I'm still trying to figure out, does the dividends that everyone collects just go straight to Robinhood, or how does that
Probably,
work? Or,
right?
I have no idea.
And then I think we talk about experiment on chain. Is that next? Does someone, or is that bring it into we're too close to this is a security realm? Because I was gonna say, is someone the next builder build tokenized equities that also grant you voting rights and dividends? But yeah, I think that's probably.
I think that's what's next. I mean, I got a bunch of buddies that are over on Wall Street, and they're like absolutely losing their mind because, you know, they'll do their normal stuff during the day, and then some big news breaks out on the weekend, and they can go and just trade on the weekend. I mean, it's definitely, it's funny. I was talking to someone else who's, you know, more into politics around the Clarity Act and stuff, and even last night I can't remember who I was talking to, but you know, it's like back in 2021, this is everything that we ever dreamed of and wished for. Yet price is flat. People are like, oh, that's it. I mean, think about it. We have tokenized and digitized like stock for 24/7 trading. We have digitized Pokemon cards, like digital representations of all this, like what we've been begging for since 2021. And I feel like the sentiment or understanding is just like, oh, okay.
It does seem almost like it's a really big deal. It's the stuff that we all had hoped for years. It's happening now. And yeah, there's excitement, but it doesn't seem like it's catching. I haven't heard any mainstream media talking about this stuff yet. It doesn't seem like maybe it's because they still view it, oh, Bitcoin's not back to 100K yet. They're still in a bear market. There's nothing exciting going on. I think it's only a matter of time. And it's also why I think this isn't, you know, I'm not giving any financial advice or forward-looking statements here, but I do think stockbrokers could have another level up, or multiple legs up. They're just getting started, and I don't think. I mean, there's people on CT that haven't even understood it yet, or even seen it yet. Most people outside of here haven't. I think it's only a matter of time before, like the 24/7, that even 24/5. It's a really big deal. It is a great example of where tokenizing something, bringing it on chain, it unlocks things that you can't do off chain, that you've not been able to do historically. And where my head goes, like, okay, yeah, tokenized equities and these stocks on chain, that's one thing. But as that word starts spreading and people start seeing, okay, this blockchain's tech stuff, it might actually not be a fad. It might actually be here to stay. You have payments and stable coins. I know it's not exciting, but as more as this stuff comes online, as more businesses start incorporating stable coins at the point of sale for payments, as you know, the first employee perks reward program that they're fully on chain and they're rewarding their employees with, instead of a traditional 401k, they're matching, but it's on chain and unlocking some additional yield. Like there's just, I think all this RWA push, that what the success that BZ and those platforms have had with bringing, you know, tokenizing Pokemon and the collectible cards, I think it's going to open up so many other builders to think about, wait, we should move on chain because this would allow us to do this, and that. I don't know what this, that, and this are. I don't know what those other industries are right off the top of my head, but I do think that the next wave of on-chain builders, of on-chain participation, very well could be led by this RWA surge. And I'm not saying it's all going to be RWAs. Well, probably a lot of it's going to be tokenized stuff that comes on chain, but it's not just going to be stocks. It's not just going to be equities, not just going to be art. I think that people are going to see the success in what it's unlocking, and I think it'll inspire a lot of other builders to come on chain as well. Yeah, Drew, thanks for coming up, filling in those gaps. Appreciate y'all being here. Love to see triple digits of you hanging out with us for over 2 hours this morning. Greatly appreciate it. If you just found us today, Diablito asks, is there no regulatory risk with stockbrokers? I'm not an attorney. I don't work for the SEC. And in the event of a federal investigation, I was placed here by a third party. I don't know how I got here. I don't know anything about this. And but in all seriousness, there might be some regulatory risk with these sort of things. It's like a gray area, and salute to the pioneers taking some shots on goal. And who knows? Might there be Wells notice in the future? Possibly. I don't know. So there potentially could be some regulatory risk with as the world comes on chain. I don't know. Great question, but I still am here for the experimentation, and hopefully they're dotting their T's or crossing their T's and dotting their I's. But we will see. We will also be back here in about 50 minutes. Going to be going live with Benjamin White, our first It's Called Football show. Excited to kick that off. We're going to go live every Tuesday and Friday talking sports, the two footballs, NFL football and soccer. Really excited to dive into it. Well, today, kind of just a really soft launch, kind of lay the land. What are we thinking? Little World Cup recap. Robotaxi now live in Orlando. Tampa and Orlando. That's breaking news. Tampa, best airport in the country, and now you can get a Robotaxi to take you from the airport to wherever your destination is. Yeah, Chris, boy, I can't imagine LeBron and Giannis at the same time or on the same team. That could be interesting. And Thomas was finally able to get on the machine at work to get a good signal to tune into the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate y'all being here. The link to tomorrow's shows or the rest of the week rather, are pinned up top. Like I said, if you just found us today, we're live every Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern time, typically just for 2 hours. And often that second hour of the show is interviews, special guests. We've got a builders domain series we're pretty excited about. If you know anyone, whether it's Georgie Boy or other builders in the space that you'd like us to feature here on Coffee with Captain, shoot us a DM, hit the Coffee with Captain account. I'll bring that up stage here in a second. And until tomorrow, I hope you all have a wonderful, actually not until tomorrow, until 11 o'clock. Join us again here in 45, 50 minutes. If you want to turn notifications on my account, you can, or just check back at 11 o'clock. We'll be going live here on X Video. YouTube's and all that stuff coming in the future, so they can figure out how to make multiple accounts. But we'll see you all here. Anyone that wants to talk football, we'll be back live in about 48 minutes. Until then, have a wonderful, wonderful day, everyone.